Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to another video. Do you want to see Sparkle? I have a feeling she's sleeping though, so I don't want to bother her. It's like dogs are like human slaves. Like they have to do as you say, otherwise there'll be problems. Mind you, I don't want her to poo on my bed. She pooed on my bed this week. And I was sitting right there. This is how you know. And she knows I'm the boss, right? If I raise my voice or anything like that, like Sparkle, why? Like she straight away gets, like she knows that I'm the boss. So for the boss to be sitting there and you put on the bed, you obviously don't understand, do you? Because you can't have done that on purpose. Obviously they don't do it on purpose, I know that, but it's just more, it's more like, why can't you learn what it is that I'm saying? I want you to put on the pad. Why can't you just know that? And I said good girl on the pad. Every time she goes on the pad I say good girl. And then I say to her, no, good girl here. And she doesn't understand. Anyways, I haven't fallen out with my dog, but we are talking about falling out with people today. Falling out with them. Would I watch a video about somebody talking about falling out? Only if they are like somebody that I follow and I like them and then they're talking about the subject. But am I gonna go Googling how do I deal with falling out with somebody? Like, I'm never gonna Google that. So I don't know why I do these videos, but I do like to talk about these difficult subjects for people who might just come across these videos or who just listen to me anyway. I'm gonna try not to sit forward because otherwise I'm gonna get cut out from the image. I'm gonna be like, hello there! Why am I so silly? I feel like this is why I am people's favorite teachers. People's favorite teachers. I'm only one person. Because I act like a kid. My brain works like a kid, even though it works like an adult. Even though I'm wise and I'm mature, I'm also very much a kid. And I didn't know that until like recently. I'm like, why do kids like me so much? Like, why? What is it? And it's because I act like a kid. Like if I get something right, I'm like, yes. I think kids do that. So basically, I act like a kid. But I'm also very like adulty when I need to be. Anyways, I'm talking about this subject here just because can you help me? Can I just like talk to you for a minute and then can you like leave me some comments as to how and what? Like, can you help me please? Oh no. I'm not here to help you today, and if I do, thank you so much because I actually want to help the whole entire world. But I am here because I need help and I need to talk about this. So let's see if I end up helping myself by the end of it. And then in turn, I will help you because I help myself. Now here's the sad thing. What story do you want? I have so many. Not good, is it? I have so many to pick from. Do I tell you about my neighbor that I had 2 massive arguments with her now? Do I tell you about that? Or do I tell you about the fact that I've fallen out of every single friend that I've ever had? Now I know, Nayna, you must be the problem. Nayna, you've fallen out of everybody. You don't have one friend, Nayna. Oops. You must be the problem. And according to some tarot readers, I'm not the problem. Because the tarot readers are obviously my friends, but they don't know who I am. But they advise me all the time. And apparently people like me, it's very common for them to have like 0 friends. Even though my friend Naz that I've had on this channel, he'll be very upset if I say to him that he's not my friend, right? But he lives like so far away from me. He lives like a 5-hour drive from me. I don't speak to him every day. So you know what I mean about like friends that you speak to every day, that you see, that you go to for problems. I have 0. Anyways, why am I talking about this? Because I've fallen out of all of them. And basically, when I think that something is unfair, I can't help but say something. I can't help but be upset. And if I'm not upset, it means that I don't care. Like for example, they do something, I'm gonna be like, but I'm going this way, so okay. But if you're doing it in my house, in front of my face, you're my friend, or you're doing it to my car, you're doing it to me, or you're doing it to my space, I'm gonna have a problem with it if it's unfair. And then if I have a problem with it, I'm gonna be like, I don't think we should be friends because you're an unfair person. So I don't want to be friends with somebody who's unfair because this is gonna keep happening. So I think that I just make very quick decisions and I get upset very quickly at things that are unfair. And this is why I think I have this problem of having 0 friends right now. I don't know if that's embarrassing of me to say because I'm not embarrassed by it, but I can imagine somebody else would be embarrassed by it for me. Like, oh my gosh, you have 0 friends. Oh my gosh, there's something wrong with you. Like, to be honest, there's something wrong with the world, but whatever. Who's counting? I don't make sense sometimes. Anyways, right, let's get on with the subject, shall we? To be honest, yeah, I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit confused how the world is supposed to operate. Because now that I have this job, I teach over 700 children per week. So every week I see 700 children. I've been looking at their teachers, I've been looking at the head teachers and everything. I'm just confused. I don't know how this is supposed to work because everybody has their own ideas. They have their own preferences, their own wants, their own needs. And then I'm supposed to be the teacher at the front who says my idea and my way is what you're supposed to do, and if you don't do it, I'm gonna punish you. No, you want to talk to your friends, it's not time to talk to your friends. It's time to listen to me speaking. Therefore, if you speak to your friend, you're going to get punished for it. Oh, I've asked you again. Your name's going on a board. Third time, you're missing part of your lunch break. I don't take it that far because I'm not their teacher, but that's exactly how I have to be as a teacher. And I'm telling you, I tried it a different way, and I do it a different way anyway, because I'm not about to take people's lunch away, right? But I'm telling you, they don't listen. They don't listen. If you say to them, please listen, they don't listen because their childlike brain doesn't want to listen. They want to do what they want to do. Anyway, so it's such a battle. Who is in charge? So I think that we form friendships based on the agreement of what's supposed to be here. And actually, sometimes we fall into friendships where we don't have an agreement, and those friendships are the biggest problems in our lives, because we haven't spoken about or come together because of a mutual moral or value in life. We just come together accidentally. So then you're bound to fall out with people and have more arguments with them who have been accidental people in your life. But if you know somebody has a shared value and a shared moral, then maybe then it's less frequent that you fall out with them or that you argue with them, because you agree a lot of the time. But you grow out of childhood where you're told what to do all the time, then you come into adulthood and now you have a right to your own opinion, your own choice, and then people upset that and then they get kicked out. This is the part, yeah, where I don't know if I'm wrong or right, because like my neighbor next door, the day that I went out there, I lost my arguing with her and her daughter, and then she said to me, "You're a bad neighbor."
What?
I don't remember her exact words. And me, because like I keep using the word autistic, right? And that's just the only way that I could describe it. My brain is so literal. So then I looked at her and I was trying to find where I am a bad neighbor. So then I did consider it. Okay, maybe I am being a bad neighbor because I don't want you to block my car. And because I live alone and I don't have friends, like I said, and I don't have nobody to bounce this off with, and my mum's a bit of a recluse. Is that a word? Like a recluse, like somebody who's just far away. Anyway, so then I waited. I was too upset. I didn't really want to talk about it. Then the next day my son asked me, "Oh, so what happened?" And then I said to him, like, "But Gabe, do you think that she's right? Like, I'm just a bad neighbor." And he said, she wants to inconvenience you to convenience herself, but because you said no thank you, I don't want you to inconvenience me, that makes you a bad neighbor. And when he said that, I was like, what a cheeky neighbor. And I was sitting there thinking, wait, you didn't even ask me for permission to inconvenience me either. And I was too angry and too frustrated to be able to speak properly to explain to her, this drive here is my right of way, and therefore you should ask me for permission, and you didn't. Anyways, the point is that we all have different ideas, and she still thinks that I'm so bad, and I still think that she's the most selfish. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that I think that we have it so like mixed up in this world of like values and what we value in our morals, because in my brain, I would never block somebody's car and then get angry at them for getting angry at me at it. And then say to them, you're a bad neighbor because like I want to park my car here, but I know that I'm not supposed to park my car here. I know that I'm blocking your car, so why would I do that? And then to her, it's like, well, yeah, why not? Come on, it's not that big of a deal. Just knock on my door, ask me to move the car. Anyways, I didn't get to explain to her, and I'm just waiting maybe, because let's talk about this, because we've not spoken yet properly about how my character is and how my character doesn't like to be inconvenienced, and my character wouldn't inconvenience somebody else. Therefore, I wouldn't want to be inconvenienced. I want to be in and out very easily. I don't want to knock on your door every time you decide to park your car there. I don't want to do that. I have a right to be a human, but maybe you don't think that I have a right to be a human because you have different morals and different values. And then this is why the law was created, so then we could have something in place to say, no, this is the moral and this is the value. But why are we so messy like this? Why do we all have different perspectives? And so then you fall out with them. But I'm just like noticing how like the beginning of our lives are just filled with like a lot of unhealthy narratives, because I'm witnessing it now in school. Like children get told all the time how disappointed I am in you. Bearing in mind, 5 of the children are the ones who you're actually speaking to, because they're actually the ones who's causing the problem. And then the other 25 children have to hear those words, have to also embrace the words that I am a disappointment. And this is how we get brought up into life. No, you're not allowed to go to the toilet, even though you've just spent 15 minutes playing with your friends. You should have thought of that when you was out there, even though kids don't think properly. And also kids just want to play. They don't want to go to the toilet and think of all the things they need to do. Then they get told off for that. Then they suddenly feel thirsty. They get told off for being thirsty because they're not allowed to be thirsty. You should have drank water in your break. And so then like this is the start of life for children in first world countries, which lead the world. First world countries lead the world. So these children are being educated to not be fair to themselves, to not be treated fairly, to be treated like a robot who needs to be perfect and does everything perfectly all the time. And if not, you're going to be punished. You're going to be told that you're not good enough. You need to be an A, not a B. B is not good enough. And only now we start to trickle into the school system. Oh no, wait, it is good enough to be a B. It is good enough to be a C because you're an individual child. But yet, when you're all talking, this is unacceptable behavior. I'm very disappointed in you. This is what is happening in school. So then therefore you don't get a fair start in life. And so then when you get into an adult, then you fall out of people because you don't understand how to be fair and what fair feels like and what it looks like, because you weren't treated fairly. So only 5% of humans know how to be really, really fair as an adult. So then we fall out of people because we don't know how to be fair. We don't do the right things, and then people get upset at our actions because they're all different, and then we fall out with people. Because your actions are different from mine and your morals are different than mine. And if somebody goes against us, we don't know how to navigate that, how to operate that. If somebody says, excuse me, I'm against you, I don't agree with you, we don't know how to go, how do I process this? Why? Because we don't get taught that in schools, do we? We don't get taught how to deal with clash and things going wrong. And because I'm now teaching, it's my 5th week of teaching, I'm really starting to navigate and understand that space of conflict, of people, of kids arguing with their partner, best friends falling out because you're not sharing properly. We don't get taught the skill as to how to navigate difficult conversations, difficult situations, what's fair, what's not fair, how do we agree on that, and are you sensible enough, and are you kind enough, and are you wise and mature enough to have this conversation with me and have this agreement of, so then both of us could be happy. Because if you're immature, you don't care if I'm happy, you only care about yourself. And if you're mature, you definitely care that both people get what they want, because you're kind and you're mature. But if you're not kind and you're immature, you don't care what people get. You don't care what the opposite side gets. And this is the problem. Because I'm guessing then people pretend to care when they're friends, and in reality the truth comes out, you don't really care. When we start clashing, that's when you see people's true colours. Are you kind or are you uncaring of people? Mind you, with the friends that I have fallen out with, it's not that I didn't care about them and why I was able to cut off like people so quickly. It's not because I didn't care, it's because I feel that much pain. Okay, one of the friends is more of I have a paranoia about it all. Like, I don't think you're a kind person. I feel like you're really unkind and I don't want that to be represented in me. But then the other friend that I had that I've fallen out with, it was purely hurt from her actions because she was treating me like I was some second class citizen in her world, and I was like, nope, we're not doing that. Do not do that. Don't treat me like that. And I told her how I was feeling and she didn't improve. So that's why I was falling out. I feel like I'm making excuses for my behaviors and I don't know if this is correct or not. Like, because I just keep sticking up for myself. But isn't that what everybody does? And until somebody else joins the conversation and you don't know if you're wrong or right because somebody else hasn't told you you're wrong or right. Like, what is this world where you just get to decide blindly who's wrong or right based on how many people agree or disagree, or based on how stubborn you are and you keep to your guns? But then yet we're still all falling out. It's just weird. And we only ever fall out with people when we think they're being unfair. Like my neighbour, I thought she was being extremely selfish and unfair. And my son agrees with me and my mum agrees with me, but her daughter agrees with her and maybe her son agrees with her. So then what is that? But you're inconveniencing me without asking me for permission. Sorry, I didn't realise I needed to ask for your permission. Okay, now you do. And then by this time, because it's all this attitude, then I'm going to start getting angry at the way you're talking. And then you're going to start getting angry at the fact that I'm getting angry at you. So it's all just a mess. Based on what? The fact that we can't agree, or we can't find middle ground, or we don't have the same ideas. And then why do we want it our own way? Because that's the problem. You fall out because you want it your way. And you feel like that person's not going to do it, or you feel like they're being unfair, so then you want it your way. Why do we want it our way? I think my situation is a little bit different because technically I don't want it my way. I want to like actually not exist. I don't want to be a part of this. If you tell me I have a right to have it my way, then this world is completely a joke. What? I have it my own way, but this world doesn't teach me that or show me that or give me that. So what are you on about? I have it my own way. And is that the problem? Because we're so starved of having it our own way, then we kind of demand it in places that we have power over it. Because at work we don't have power. When we drive our car, we don't have power. We have to stop at the red light, otherwise you get a ticket. You have to go at this speed on the motorway, otherwise you get a ticket. If I don't do this happens. So because there's so much control of, because I don't want to stop at the red light, sometimes there's no need to stop at the red light, or sometimes the red light lasts for too long and there's nobody benefiting from this red light, so then I want to go. I don't have that right. So are we then over exercising our right when things are unfair in places that we can control? So then we fall out with people. I know some things are more exaggerated than that. Like, for example, nope, my best friend slept with my husband. It's like, nope, that was just bad, and that's why we're falling out. And in that case, like, is it wrong that you are angry that she slept with your husband? Are we supposed to be sharing everybody's things? What? Was the problem because she didn't ask you first? Like, can I sleep with your husband? Because I want to sleep with your husband. Like, what's the right way to do this? Why does she want to sleep with your husband? Why do we have that available in us? And that's what I'm just understanding, like, noticing these children, is that some children have the morals, the kindness inside of them where they're like, I hear you and I'm respecting you. And then some of them are like, I hear you but I don't respect you, therefore I'm not going to do as you're saying. But they don't have the capability and the education to tell you that either. Because me, that's what I would do. I would tell you. Like, I would be so transparent because I care about people's brains. Even if you're my enemy, I want to explain to you properly what's happening here, so then you're not confused. And that's what we don't do. We don't kind of go, right, I know you see me as your friend, but I fancy your boyfriend, and if I had a chance, I would sleep with him, you know. Wow. We're not being that transparent, are we? About our real feelings and our real thoughts. And meanwhile, she thinks you're her best friend, and meanwhile, you know you're not. And then you end up falling out over these non-honest contradictions that exist in real life that you're not being honest about. I think there's too much fear in society and in humans for us to understand and learn how to be honest, or how to deal with the truth, how to accept it, and then what to do after that. Like, we need classes, guys. We need to be able to sit there and say, okay, so if you begin to fancy your best friend's boyfriend, what happens? How do you deal with that? Why is that happening? How can you process that information in your brain so then nobody gets hurt? You know, where's the non-judgmental manual how to handle all these things? If you dislike somebody and they befriend you and then they force you to be their friend, how do you deal with that? Why are they doing that? Why do you not like them? Why are they forcing themselves onto you, making you their friend? Why? Where's all of the answers to everything? And then how do you handle it? Where's the manual to everything? And I think that that's what we're missing. Because if we had all of that, why would we be falling out with anybody? Because we'd all be honest and understand everything that's happening and know how to deal with it. So we wouldn't even call it a falling out. We would call it parting ways of people who are no longer in alignment with each other or going the same way. And we've done that so clean and so amicable and in agreement and in understanding, and no pain, no suffering, no anger. You just going your own way. You can go your own way. Go your own way. I just know that both sides are falling out, right? Either one is completely crying and hurt and regretful, and the other one's angry and not regretful. Or they're both regretful, or they're both angry and don't care. Or they both don't even think about it and they don't care at all. But some of us have really good poker faces where we think somebody doesn't care, and really they do, because they're really good at just being quiet. Staying still, being quiet. My heart is pounding, but I'm still and I'm quiet. You can't tell that my heart is pounding, but it is. That's what happens to all of us. We don't know what another person's feeling until you notice these things and you study them. Oh, her breathing is changing. I think that she is anxious. Right, let's close this conversation up, shall we? I put here, yeah, how do we handle falling out? Because that's a big question for me. How would I handle my next door neighbor? And I've got my therapist this evening, so I'm going to talk about this problem that I had with my neighbor. Because how? And this is the problem. I could tell my therapist is going to agree with me. She's going to agree that this is a very inconsiderate behavior and people are inconsiderate in the world. But why doesn't my neighbor see that? Why is it that she thinks that she's right? I hate how naive my brain is sometimes, where I can't even understand simple things, and somebody else will sit here and go, Nayna, it's called selfishness. And it's like, but what does that look like to be unkind and selfish? Why am I not like that? I had the same mum and dad, but my siblings are not all the same. Actually, I am the black sheep in this family. but we all have the same mum and dad. So what is it that makes somebody else selfish? And then also, am I sitting here thinking that I'm not selfish when somebody else will be like, oh, Nina's so selfish. You just want the washing machine every Friday and you don't think about what other people want. And then I'm sitting there going, no, but I've already been using it every Friday. Why do you need to now come in now? And also, my son goes to school on Monday, so I have to wash his clothes on Friday. Like, so I've justified why I need the washing machine on Friday, but somebody else will still be like, yeah, but that's selfish. So how do we stop this stuff? To be honest, I feel like I've just been giving conclusions all throughout this video, and when I'm editing back, I'll be like, oh, I've answered that, oh, I've answered it. Like, oh, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. You be completely honest and transparent. Do you know what I think I've put here actually? Yeah, I did put there that I think that we need people to speak on our behalf when we are overwhelmed and when we are angry, because I'm telling you, when I was out there, I got into tears. I started raising my voice a little bit. I even used some swear words when I was talking, and I was saying to her that life is and you're making it even more. So I think that if somebody else was talking on behalf of us, like, you know, I have a talker, you have a talker, we're going to sort it out because me and you, we're too angry to speak about this. I feel like we need, I forgot what the word is called, I keep calling it a talker. We need a talker on our behalf when we're frustrated to get the points correctly across, so then we can correctly come to an agreement as to what's fair and what's unfair. And is that all that it takes? It's like more brain work. I just need to put more words into your brain so you can understand me better. And when we fall out with people, we don't use enough words to convince people of anything. And is that what we have to do? We have to fight to the end, to the death with our ideas, so then somebody could either join our idea or stay against our idea. I keep telling my neighbour as to why I don't want her to do it until one day she understands and she stops doing it, because now she understands. So then I've won the battle of the minds. And is that all that it is? That you're just battling with people in the minds, who's right, who's wrong, and then the one who doesn't give up in the end is the one who ends up being right. I don't like this. I don't like this. I think that there has to be a cleaner way of doing this. But for sure, we need people to speak on our behalf when we're frustrated, because I could not explain myself properly the way that I can now that day. I didn't say to her, you're inconveniencing me for your own convenience. If I had said that, would she have seen it in a different way? I don't know. Or maybe she's used to being selfish. Maybe she's okay with being selfish. And then I'm here calling her selfish. She's like, yeah, so I am selfish, so. And this teaching comes from parents and long traditional DNAs of people having a certain mind frame and a certain behavior, and then they pass it on to their children, and then here we are all fighting across the world. In bad days, because we also have good days. Right, let's move on to the quote of the week. You take your power back by letting people go. That's actually the quote. I'm not sure if power is the right word here. I don't think you take your power back, but I think you create peace and security, and that feels good within yourself. And I feel like that's what we need. We need peace and security internally for us to have like a good time of life. So when you let people go who are causing you harm or pain, or who don't want to be a part of you, you are getting rid of the problem and you're creating peace in your world and security that you're enough without these things. You don't need to hold on to these bad things to make you good enough. You are already good enough, secure enough as a single thing, and that's secure in itself. And then if people are causing you harm, you can get rid of them, so then you have peace and security with your single self. I wouldn't call that power though. I would just call that like some type of default of maybe that's what they mean, like the battery. You need battery. It's that default. So I'm not sure if I even understand properly what the conclusion is to this problem that I'm having of falling out with people. But I do want to try harder at speaking through things. At the same time, I get very frustrated very quickly. And again, I don't know if that's because my brain just works differently, that I get frustrated very quickly when I don't think that something is being understood that should be understood. That I see something so clearly and it's so right to me, but then somebody would not see it clearly and it's not right to them. I get frustrated at that, and I prefer not to have that conversation because I get frustrated. So I think that's why like I don't make up with people, is because I don't know how to, because I'm gonna get frustrated. So I'd rather just like be alone. But let's work together, let's have this conversation, let's keep trying, let's get through it, let's find the correct way and the manual for everybody, all humans. Let's do that. So then we know how to deal with falling out, why it happens, how it happens, and what to do about it. Let's do that. And then eventually we will not need to even be talking about falling out, because the world would just be so peaceful and so great, because we've educated everybody to be kind and considerate and so then we wouldn't have any falling out. We would just have roads that are being walked either that way or whatever way. Okay, that video was a bit of a blur. I don't know what I said in any of this, so I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna enjoy editing it back. Until next time, I'll see you again. Okay, goodbye.